Welcome back, Ram fans, to Rams Up. Rams getting ready to play the Saints this afternoon. I got my pregame pulse here for you, and I'm getting it out a little bit early. I will be predicting who the inactives are rather than waiting until whatever it is, noon, to tell you who the inactives are. I think I can get pretty close here based on who the practice squad elevations were. I'll share that as well. But as I was talking to Farbode and Scott the other day, it might have been off camera, I'm not sure, but is it really interesting to you Ram fans what's going on with our Los Angeles Dodgers? And I get it. Maybe we don't want to talk about the Dodgers in the World Series, but I'm sorry, we are going to do exactly that. That was an amazing, amazing World Series and an amazing game. And shout out to the Dodgers. That game seven, was one of the best baseball games I ever saw. And my special assistant, who loves basketball and hockey and football much more than baseball, texted me, I love baseball. That game, man, all the things that went down at the end there. And I had a suspicion. I went out to dinner and I came home, I think it was the seventh inning or so, and I just had this feeling something crazy was going to happen because that's how this series has gone. And then on the YouTube channel, I'm sharing an image here. That ball to the left field alley, I thought, okay, that's it, game over. And here comes Andy Pages cruising through, cleaning out Kiki Hernandez, making the catch. And that wasn't all. There was that Rojas to Will Smith at the plate. Looked like Will Smith's toe might have came up, but apparently he got it back down or they couldn't overturn it. The Muncy home run, the Rojas home run, the dugout's emptying. And a word on that, if you're going to flap your hand out there to try to get hit, you might deserve to get hit. And I think that's what happened. That was, you don't see that often in a World Series. And these two teams, up until that point, I had said to myself, I said, these two teams seem to be getting along quite well, too well for my liking. But that's the nature of these Dodgers. There's a bunch of really good guys on this team. They don't really play with an edge. Maybe a couple of them do. But man, and it didn't end there. The Will Smith home run, the double play to end the game. Oh man, it was a lot of fun. But that's all I'm going to say about the World Series. I could not ignore it. I just cannot ignore it. A Los Angeles team taking home another title. And maybe the Rams can do the same. Go Dodgers. Enough of that. Sorry, had to get that out there. And for you non-Dodger fans, my sincerest apologies. Bengals on the move. A lot of rumors about Trey Hendrickson and Logan Wilson, the linebacker, among others. Hendrickson, the great defensive end, led the league in sacks a couple of times, I think. Four-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro? Is he All-Pro? Quite the talent. And on the surface, of do we really need Trey Hendrickson? Sure we do. Everybody could use a guy like Trey Hendrickson. Does it make sense for this team? And at first I thought, no, maybe not. But would he be a great addition to this team? Hey, pass rush is one of the most important components of a championship team. Think Von Miller here, right? Dante Fowler helped us get to a Super Bowl. But even another aspect of this is the 49ers, who are desperately trying to improve their pass rush, are apparently making a move on him as well. And I would be in support of this just to deny the Hendrickson going to the 49ers. That may sound maybe not the wisest approach, the wisest calculus, but I think we'd all love to have Hendrickson on the team, and we'd all be quite disappointed if he ended up on the 49ers. Now, Logan Wilson, the linebacker, that's another story. I haven't done a deep dive on what he would bring to the team and how that would work out for our Rams. But Rams seem to know what they're doing, obviously focusing on defense here. And I think the cornerback, Cam Britt-Taylor, is another guy. Hopefully I got that name right. Another Bengal that could be on the trading block. You know who I'm talking about. I'm recording on the fly here, so I apologize if I got that wrong. But 3 Bengal defenders could possibly be on the move, although the Bengals say, hey, they're not really interested in moving these guys, but if the right offer comes in, we know how that typically goes down. So, I have 11 teams who I've already counted out. I've decided that they are done, and the most recent addition to that was the Arizona Cardinals. They were my 11th team, and you know how this goes down. I basically add team to my kiss it goodbye. Your season is over, and I don't allow myself to reverse that. If I say a team is done, their team is done. And like I said, 11 players on that list. And I think there's 4 teams here that could be added as well. The Bengals 3-5 hosting the Bears. If they lose that one, even though the AFC North is a little bit wide open, I think it'd just be an indication they're pointing in the wrong direction. Now, I'm not saying I'm ruling them out for sure. If they lose, it depends on what happens with the Ravens and Steelers, not so much the Browns. And then the Vikings 3-4 at the Lions. And the thing about the Vikings and the Commanders as well here, I'm going to talk about in a second, they have one of the hardest schedules left in the NFL. So if they lose to the Lions, they might be done. The Falcons 3-4 at the Patriots. If the Bucks win and the Patriots lose, the Bucks off this week actually. But if the Falcons lose this one and drop to 3-5, the only way they're getting to the playoffs is winning that division, and that would be good for the Rams in 2 ways. If they continue to lose, of course, we own their draft pick. Last time I looked, we had the 11th pick in the draft. And, in that regard, we got to start taking a look at all these quarterbacks that were slated to go in the first, second, third round. It is quite the hot mess about how these guys are being racked and stacked at this point. And then the Commanders 3-5 hosting the Seahawks. It's kind of a double-edged sword. If like I said, I think the 7-team field in the NFC playoff field is more or less set. I really believe that. Now, if the Commanders were to win, maybe they'd start edging themselves back into the conversation, which could be bad for the Rams. But if they lost to the Seahawks, that's not good for us either. But if they do lose to the Seahawks and drop to 3-6, losing to the Seahawks at home, another team that's got a really difficult schedule, we might say their season is done. I'll have to revisit that at the end of the week. But 4 teams, we're at 11 right now, 11 teams whose season is over. We might be as high as 15, and 15 teams that could be, by my mark, done. Kiss it goodbye. See you next year. Practice squad activations for the Rams: cornerback A.J. Green once again, and running back Ronnie Rivers. And the Saints have activated linebacker Iku Leota. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Rivers, interesting. I think that's going to tie in. Well, definitely ties in. Both of these activations tie in to my predicted inactives for this game, and we'll get right to it. My expected inactives. I enjoy doing this, getting this out early in the morning on a Sunday rather than waiting until noon and trying to squeeze it in right before the game. I'm just going to guess here, educated guess, who is going to be inactive. I think this is pretty accurate. The first 5 I feel really comfortable about. Quarterback Stetson Bennett, running back Jarquez Hunter, the fact that Ronnie Rivers is activated. Apparently still not feeling comfortable with Hunter, but they don't want to move him to the practice squad. Someone will grab him. Offensive lineman Bo Limmer will be inactive, I would think, as well as offensive tackle DJ Humphries and defensive lineman Deshaun Johnson. Now, cornerback D. Will, by the way, so we're bringing up 2 guys from the practice squad. So that means 5 plus 2, 7 players are going to be inactive. I gave you the first 5. The next 2, pretty sure Darius Williams will be inactive. The fact that They just traded for McCreary, and McVay said he will be good to go. And the fact that they have promoted A.J. Green, that's a strong indication that D will be inactive. And the last one, kind of a guess here. I think it's going to be Elias Neal, although I wouldn't mind if it was Troy Reader, but I think it will be Neal. I could be wrong on that. I think all 4 tight ends will be active once again. But that 7th inactive, a little bit of a guess there. We'll see how I do. I've been pretty accurate, I think, so far. A couple surprises along the way. And the Saints, hey, I have no idea. I have no idea who their inactives will be. Now, players to watch, we've been all over the place. I shared some. I've shared Konate Mumpfield, predicting he'll score a touchdown. I forget who else we talked about. Terrence Ferguson. Scott shared a couple of guys as well. There's a guy that we haven't talked about, and that's outside linebacker Josiah Stewart. And the reason I'm predicting Stewart could be really active in this game, he's been slowly, very slowly, making his presence felt, hasn't he? And I just have a feeling there's going to be a game where he really blows up and gets a couple of sacks, gets to the quarterback a couple of times, tackles for losses. And with a rookie quarterback against his Saints team, if the Rams get a little bit of a lead, I think Stewart and Nick Hampton will get more snaps. We'll see a lot more of them. And late in the game, could see a lot of Josiah Stewart in the backfield. He's proven that he is an NFL caliber edge rusher. There's going to be a game here sometime soon where his name, hey, he's not going to be a household name by the end of the game, but he will be a guy that the rest of the NFC West is fully aware of. Outside linebacker, edge rusher Josiah Stewart, the rookie out of Michigan. And it's kind of cool. This game, we could see 3 rookies really make a big impact. Terrence Ferguson, who Farbode identified as a player to watch, Josiah Stewart, and of course, the wide receiver, Konate Mumpfield. So another player to watch there, Josiah Stewart. Moving on here, I got some predictions for you. Kind of guesswork here, but just kind of trying to read the room and how this game might unfold. My first prediction, Matthew Stafford, 3+ TD passes. He's been on a roll, especially in the red zone. And I think that continues. I think Tyler Shugg is going to struggle. The Rams are going to make his life miserable, and they end up with less than 175 yards passing. I think the Joshua Carty, he's going to hit 3 field goals, and we're going to come out of this game feeling a little bit better about our kicking game. And my fourth prediction, Rams have more than 4 sacks, greater than 4 sacks in this game. And I got a bonus point here, a bonus prediction. Konate Mumpfield scores once again. I've already mentioned that twice this week during the other drops, but I'm rolling with that. Mumpfield has a big game here, and we'll see how it goes. Those are my fearsome 4 predictions and a bonus one there. Reiterating my prediction about Mumpfield scoring again. If he scores, you all think I'm a genius. If he doesn't, he will forget all about this. So that's all I got. That's my Rams at Pregame Pulse heading into this Rams-Saints game at SoFi. By the way, speaking of SoFi, did you hear UCLA trying to get out of the Rose Bowl and join the Rams at SoFi? I thought that might happen. I thought even USC might be interested in playing at SoFi. It's such an incredible stadium. Now, Inglewood is a little bit closer to Westwood than Pasadena. I'm not sure in LA traffic. Is it really going to matter? But SoFi is certainly, it's kind of a bummer though, because the Rose Bowl is such an iconic place. It saddens me to some degree, but at some point, I think the Bruins will end up at SoFi, and it kind of sort of makes sense. It'll be a better, will it be a better experience for, I was in Pasadena, I think it was last year, And Minnesota, the University of Minnesota was in town. A bunch of their fans staying at the same hotel as me, and they seem to be loving it there in Pasadena. And Pasadena probably has a better feel, a better vibe for visitors, for hanging out, going out to restaurants, and going to the Huntington and going to the Arboretum or whatever else you might do in Pasadena, shopping, restaurants. I don't know if SoFi and the immediate area around it really offers that, but the stadium experience at this point probably a lot better. That would be my opinion, anyways. So I think the Bruins will very likely end up at SoFi in the very near future. Out here, go Rams, and congratulations, our Los Angeles Dodgers.